Ghosts, ghouls, giant snakes, sandworms, and forced marriage. These are all things you will experience when dealing with the ghost with the most, the one and only rotting Bio-Exorcist we have all come to love. And in today's lesson, we're going to dive deep into the grave to uncover today's topic. So, what's up everyone, and welcome back to Macabre'Gorium Labs presents School of Boredom, a showcase of things likely forgotten. My name is Bats, and I'll be your guide today as we explore lesson number 112, Beetlejuice, the Sexiest Bio-Exorcist. This lesson is about the making of the movie Beetlejuice. For a more in-depth look at the movie's plot and summary, you can check out our video over on our partner channel, but without further ado, here we go. For those of you that have been living under a rock for the last couple of decades, Beetlejuice is a 1988 comedy horror movie produced by the Giffen Company and distributed by Warner Brothers. This iconic movie started when David Geffen received an amazing script written by Michael McDowell and brilliantly decided to make a movie. But first, he would need to find the perfect director, and he decided to show the script to none other than Tim Burton.
At the time, Tim Burton was mainly known for Pee-wee's Big Adventure and the first Batman movie with Michael Keaton.
Also around that time, Burton was becoming frustrated with the lack of imagination and originality in scripts, and so he was looking for something different. I wonder how Mr. Burton feels about the industry today. He hit the lottery with this movie and quickly accepted the job. However, as with most scripts, there was some rewriting to be done, and so Larry Wilson was brought on board to help Michael McDowell make some changes to the script.
The rewriting was requested as McDowell's original script was much darker and less fun.
That's right, Goats. In fact, the original script would have shown the Maitlands' actual death in graphic detail. Beetlejuice was going to be a winged demon and was going to want a physical relationship with Lydia and not just a marriage.
Now, of course, since the character Lydia is 16, this was definitely not appropriate on very many levels.
To add to that, Beetlejuice, once summoned, is out of control without the ability to send him back by saying his name 3 times. He was also able to wreak havoc as much as he wanted, and he kills a second Deets child that was also added in the original script. In yet another rewrite, the Maitlands, the Deetses, and Otho end up destroying Beetlejuice, and the Maitlands were able to shrink down and live in their house on Adam Maitland's town model. However, understandably, Burton was not completely happy with the rewrites, and due to creative differences, he decided to replace McDowell and Wilson with Warren Scarron.
Warren Scarron was known at the time as a writer on Fire with Fire, Beverly Hills Cop 2, and Batman.
Warren Scarron's rewrite changed the feel of the movie by bringing in some music and playfulness, and that meant not showing the Maitland's death in a graphic way, adding some more comedy elements. With a complete script, Burton quickly began assembling his cast. His choice for the main character Beetlejuice was originally Sammy Davis Jr., with the producers thinking of Dudley Moore and Sam Kinison.
For those that don't know, Dudley Moore and Sam Kinison are both comedians and actors.
For Lydia Deets, many actresses were considered, such as Brooke Shields, Juliette Lewis, Jennifer Connelly, Alyssa Milano, and Molly Ringwald. It would inevitably turn out, however, that Burton would decide to hire Winona Ryder, which was an inspired idea. For the part of Lydia's stepmother, Delia, originally Angelica Houston was hired, but unfortunately had to quit due to a medical issue that required attention. It took a while for them to set the whole cast, because the original script was so weird that most actors simply couldn't get the vision. Geena Davis was the only actress that committed to the project right off the bat and took the role of Barbara Maitland. And we here at the Labs totally approve of that decision.
Although originally Kirstie Alley was the first choice for Barbara Maitland, she was busy on Cheers at the time and could not get out of her obligations.
Catherine O'Hara, Winona Ryder, and Sylvia Sidney had all said no at least one time. But, not to be thwarted, Burton actually flew out to meet Catherine O'Hara and changed her mind. He would find that the role of Beetlejuice was originally really hard to cast, so there were many actors considered to star in the movie, such as Jim Carrey, Robin Williams, Bill Murray, Christopher Lloyd, Jack Nicholson, Tim Curry, and even Arnold Schwarzenegger. In a lucky turn, producer David Geffen ended up suggesting Michael Keaton for the role. Tim Burton met with Michael Keaton 3 separate times. The first time, Keaton said he wished he could do it, but he just didn't understand it. Keaton asked for a second meeting to allow Burton to try to explain the vision, but unfortunately he still wouldn't understand. Then came the third meeting, third time's a charm, when Keaton began to see what Burton was trying to do. He asked Burton to give him a day or two, and during this time he would try on various wardrobes and think of ideas to try to bring the Beetlejuice character to life. Keaton told Burton he wanted hair that looked like he stuck his finger in an electrical socket, false teeth, and mold as Beetlejuice had been living underground. So Keaton dressed up in his costume, walked out on stage to show Burton, and the rest is history. The rest of the main cast includes Alec Baldwin as Adam Maitland, Jeffrey Jones as Charles Dietz, Sylvia Sidney as Juno, the Maitland's caseworker, Robert Goulet as Maxie Dean, Charles's old boss, Mary Cheatham as Sarah Dean, Max's wife, Glenn Shaddix as Otho, Delia's friend, and Dick Cavett as Bernard, Delia's agent. With this all-star cast, it is no wonder that Beetlejuice the movie cost $15 million to make, but ended up earning $73.7 million at the box office, and would become the 10th highest grossing film of 1988. With the cast set, Tim Burton had a vision for this movie. It was to make it look low budget and fake looking on purpose, like old B movies. Due to this, the entire budget for special effects was only $1 million. To get this very specific look, he used multiple effects such as stop motion, prosthetics, and chroma key blue screen. Moving forward, there are some spoilers, just so you know. A brief overview of the plot is that Barbara and Adam Maitland die in a car accident and find out they are stuck haunting their Connecticut country house for 125 years. Their house is eventually sold to the Dietzes, and the Maitlands could not be more unhappy about the way the Dietzes are redecorating the house. The Maitlands attempt to scare them away, but have no success. Their unsuccessful attempts to scare the Dietzes catch the notice of an unruly, rowdy ghost, Beetlejuice. His help is misguided and proves it to be dangerous to everyone, which ultimately ends up with the Maitlands being able to be seen by all of the Dietzes, not just Lydia, their daughter. After the Maitlands save Lydia from Beetlejuice, they decide to live in harmony with the Dietzes. Our last scene with Beetlejuice is of him in the Netherworld waiting room where he gets his head shrunk by a witch doctor that he pisses off. Although the movie takes place in a fictional village of Winter River, Connecticut, it was actually filmed in Corinth, Vermont, with the inside of the house being filmed at the Culver Studios in Culver City, California. This beloved movie went on to win multiple awards, with the Beetlejuice character continuing on to earn a cartoon, video games, trading cards, and even a stage musical.
Several of these will be covered in future School Aborted Quickies, so make sure you don't miss those.
No matter how many times you watch this movie, it never gets old, because there are all kinds of little details sprinkled throughout that are very easy to miss. Details such as, Beetlejuice got his name from a bright red star in the Orion constellation, Betelgeuse. Beetlejuice isn't even in the movie for the first 25 minutes, and Michael Keaton only filmed the part for 2 weeks. Being the talented actor he is, Michael Keaton actually ad-libbed 90% of his dialogue in the film and was pretty much given free rein over the character creation. The only direction he received from Tim Burton was Beetlejuice lived in every time period, but was of no time period.
You bunch of losers! You're working with a professional here!
This is one of the reasons why Michael Keaton considers Beetlejuice to be one of the best performances of his career. In the wedding scene with Beetlejuice and Lydia, her dress is bright red instead of white. This is a homage to an old rhyme that says, "Married in red, better off dead." The iconic dinner party dance scene was originally going to have a song by the Ink Spots used, but Catherine O'Hara and Jeffrey Jones suggested calypso music. I think that turned out to be a rather brilliant decision, as it added a lot of fun to the movie.
Now, we did our research on this, and it shows that the Ink Spots were an American vocal jazz group from 1934 to 1954.
One of the scarier parts in this movie, of course, is the iconic snake railing scene. Interestingly enough, this scene was actually filmed way before Michael Keaton even signed on to play the lead. After he joined the cast, Burton reshot the scene using stop motion so it would resemble the actual Beetlejuice character Keaton had created. Warner Brothers interfered, as they like to do, and tried to change the name of the movie to House Ghosts. In addition to being awesome, Beetlejuice has other powers, which include reality warping, invulnerability, possession, telekinesis, levitation, shape-shifting, teleportation, ventriloquism, and regeneration. There were also several deleted scenes that were exclusive to the extremely rare original work print of the movie, such as when Adam leaves the house for the first time and encounters the sandworms. It was originally intended to be an area containing rolling gears. Tim Burton felt this would be confusing for audiences, so they changed it to sandworms. At the end of the movie, there was an extra 2 minutes where we would have seen the Dietzes talking to Jane and telling her they don't want to sell the house. There are a few others not mentioned here, although some can be found online and some can only be found in the original.
Shameless plug!
Hey everybody, if you're enjoying the video, please click like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you can see all of our weird, creepy, odd, strange, or eccentric content as soon as we get it out to you. Now without further ado, back to your video. You may be asking if a sequel was ever made or even thought of since Beetlejuice was such a success. In fact, a sequel was developed, and it was called Beetlejuice Goes Hawaiian in the year 1990. But Burton was working on Batman Returns, so the sequel was inevitably cancelled and never made. Then in 2015, Winona Ryder said she thought she could confirm a sequel, but it was a top secret project. Tim Burton also said, "We're doing it, and Winona's going to be in it." It turned out to be so secret that nothing else would be announced until 2017. The project was stalled and a new writer was hired to rework the script. However, here in the year of 2021, we are still awaiting a sequel anxiously. Let's just hope Netflix doesn't make a documentary about all the delays with the new Beetlejuice movie. Michael Keaton and Tim Burton have said that they will not make a sequel unless it can have the same energy of the original. We hope they stick to this, as Beetlejuice is an amazing movie that delights people of all ages. And on that note, we've come to the end of this lesson. I've been your host, Bats, and this has been the Macabre'Gorium Lab's School of Boredom, a showcase of things likely forgotten, lesson number 112, Beetlejuice, the sexiest Bio-Exorcist. Be sure to check back next time so you can see all of our new stuff as soon as it comes out, and as usual, think for yourselves, be excellent to each other, and keep it creepy. Hey, thanks for checking out our video. If you enjoyed this one and would like to see more of our weird, creepy, odd, eccentric, or strange content as soon as it comes out, please feel free to click like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more. We'll see you later. Keep it creepy.